Hey, what's up, you guys? Starting this new year off with a bang. Keeping the bang rolling. Starting this new year off with a bang. So I'm late to the party on this, guys. I am late to the party. But you know what they say? Better late than never. So this is the very controversial figure. This is a very controversial figure. So if you guys want to skip ahead, because I don't want to say I'm going to go on a rant, but I mean, I'm just going to get my point across. So, like I said, I'm late to the party, but I have watched a ton of videos on this figure. And of course, the biggest debate is the price. So, Marvel Legends announced that they're doing a new Maximum series, and their figures are going to be 50 and up. So the Hulk, the Maximum Hulk, I think is 60 or 70 or some crap like that. And this Spider-Man figure is 50. Now, I will give you my honest opinion right now before I even open it up, because I've watched a ton of videos and reviews. I saw almost everybody's perspective on this figure from YouTube. Do I think this figure is worth $50? Well, I will give you my final answer at the end of this video, but since I already seen so many videos on it and I already know what this Spider-Man is about, my answer is no. This figure is not worth $50. I paid $50 for it. Yes, I did. My own money, my own hard-earned money, I paid for it. Now, am I going to bitch and moan about this figure being $50? No, and I'll tell you why. Number one, the economy is where it is. We all know, I'm not going to get political and whatever. We know about the tariffs and all the other stuff that's going on. Everything is going up. Food is going up. The prices for clothes, sneakers, shoes, whatever. Everything is going up. Let's just be real. Rent is skyrocket high. You know what I mean? So everything is going up. Expenses are expenses. Now, what kind of value are you getting from this figure? Well, in my opinion, you're getting a pretty decent value. Now, I will give you one example. So this figure is $50, right? And I guess people saying, well, that's ridiculous. You're paying $50 for a toy. This $50 price doesn't bother me that much for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is I've brought more expensive figures than this, and I've done it numerous times. I've brought Mezco figures. I've brought Mafex figures in the past. I've never brought SH Figart figures. Those figures just never interest me. But I've brought a couple of Mafex figures in the past, and I have brought in Mezco figures many times. And you guys have stuck on my channel, y'all know this. So I've brought figures that, have went over $100. Another thing to think about and put this in perspective, how many of you guys eat fast food out there? I'll raise my hand. And most fast food joints are not cheap, especially in my area where I live at. But let's just take one example, McDonald's, right? So you're going to spend at McDonald's, if you get a meal for yourself, you're not going to spend probably no less than $15. If you have a family, trust me when I tell you this, you're going to spend about $50 or a little bit over. And that's fast food that you're going to put in your belly for one day. And that's going to keep you satisfied probably for a couple hours or what have you. So just put that in perspective. If you have a family like I do, you go to McDonald's, you spend over $50. That's fast food in one day that that your body is going to digest and whatever. On the other hand, this figure is $50, and this is the figure that you're going to keep for life. Hopefully barring that it doesn't break or whatever. But most of the time, us people, we take care of our figures and they don't break. Sometimes they do though. So things happen. But that's all I'm saying. How come we don't bitch and moan when we go to McDonald's? Because I know I do. When I go to McDonald's and I take my family, I'm like, damn, I gotta pay almost $50 for me and my kids to eat at McDonald's. And so, like I said, do I think this figure is worth $50? No. But am I like screaming and ready to break out my pitchforks about this figure being $50? No. And for all the reviewers out there that's bitching about this figure, then I say to you, you're just adding to the problem. Now, I get it. I'm a reviewer myself, so you want to put it on your channel so you can get views because, most people have YouTube for a living. I get it. But you're still part of the problem because you're still going out and buying these figures that Marvel Legends or whatever companies are putting out. And these companies know as long as y'all going to keep buying them, their figures are going to be successful and the prices are going to keep going up and what have you and so forth. It's the same circle. So don't bitch and complain and say, oh, these prices are outrageous, and then you still go out and buy the figure. If you really feel that way, if you want Marvel Legends and the rest of these companies to stop, don't buy it. You know why I bought this figure? Because I wanted it. It's not because, oh, I'm so outraged by the price that I just had to buy it because I bought it to review on my channel. No, I wanted a definitive Spider-Man in my collection, at least for now. And this is the best, well, from some people perspective, this is the best Spider-Man on the market. And so I saw the figure and I wanted it. And that's why I got it. And that's how my channel goes. If I don't want a figure, I'm not going to get it. If I get a figure, it's a figure that I really want. So I went on a 6-minute rant. I apologize, guys, for that. But now, with all that aside, let's get into the review. So the Maximum Series Spider-Man, Marvel Legends. You got the warning, choking hazard for ages 4+, Marvel Legends. Marvel Legends, Maximum Series Spider-Man. You got the little comic art there. You got Spidey in the front of the box. You got Spidey there on the side, little comic art. Maximum Series Spider-Man. All the legalities, such and such at the bottom. Hasbro. You got the barcode, if that helps anybody. More legalities at the bottom. You got Spidey in there with all his accessories. And like I said, you got the art on the back. Marvel Legends, Maximum. There you have it. There you go. Maximum Series, Spider-Man, Hasbro. So you also got his little art there on the side as well, where he's hanging upside down. That is really cool. So yeah, that is it for the packaging. And this is going to be a long one, guys, because especially when it comes to the size comparisons, this is going to be a long one. So stay tuned. I hope you guys are in for the ride. Get your popcorn, whatever you need to do. But let's do it. The Maximum Series Spider-Man. And bam, here we are. So what are my first impressions of this figure? I like it. I like it a lot. I like the sculpt. I like the paint. I don't really see any imperfections on mine yet. I haven't really fully examined him, but from what I can tell, my figure is pretty clean, which is good. I kind of do have an issue with my eyes. His left eye is a little off center. Or, well, it's a little too close, and the right eye is a little off centered. So it doesn't bother me too much. It's not that big of an issue. But I guess if I look at it too closely, it does bother me a little bit. So I love his body. I love the sculpt. I love his proportions. I love it. And this is the McFarlane Spider-Man. Make no mistake about it. Now, a lot of people said that his eyes are not accurate to how McFarlane drew him in the comics, and I do agree. The eyes are not exactly like how McFarlane drew it, but then there were certain comics where he kind of drew the eyes like this a little bit. So, how artists are, that's just the way it goes. The webbing looks really clean. It looks really good. His Spidey symbol on the back is really good. I like that as well. I also like how you got nice wrinkles and stuff throughout his costume. It just makes it look more authentic. It looks really good. And the darker blue pops really well. The darker blue looks good. Usually I love my Spider-Man with light blue. That's just my preference. But the darker blue looks really good, and once again, it is accurate to Todd McFarlane. His Spidey symbol, that is Todd McFarlane's. The tight knit webbing around his costume, also McFarlane. So this is a McFarlane representation. That is inexcusable. This is inexcusable. So I'm not going to gush about this figure when this figure clearly has problems, and this is one of them. There's no reason his feet should be like this at the bottom. Unacceptable. Especially you calling this a maximum figure. So anyway, looking a little more further into the head sculpt, looks good. Looks good. This one doesn't look as clean that I'm kind of inspecting it a little bit. I think there's a little bit of QC paint there in the white of his eye, so that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate actually, because I never want that. Not in the eyes. I will take a paint defect anywhere else, but not the eyes. But it's not too bad. But if I look at it closely, yes, it is noticeable. So that is an issue. I don't know if I can find any other paint imperfections. I don't want to spend too long dwelling on that. But for the most part, it's pretty good from what I could tell. Yeah. Yeah, so aesthetically, the figure is very pleasing. At least it is to me. So we'll get into accessories. So he comes with, I like this. I like this accessory. His web shooters, when he takes his gloves off, his web shooters underneath. Now, a lot of people complain there's no articulation in the wrist, but it would break up the sculpt. And you do get articulation when you connect this to his wrist, and it'll twist around. I'll get into that later. But yeah, I like the sculpting of it. I like how he's doing the thwip there on that hand, and I like how he's about to do the thwip here on his hand, that hand. So it's it's two different hands, two different sculpts, and I like that. I also like the silver paint. That is good as well. And so this is the accessory that everybody makes fun of. This is the Spidey sperm. Spidey sperm, Spidey sperm, Spidey sperm does whatever Spidey sperm does. But yeah, this is the Spidey sperm. No, this is the web ball. That's what this is. And he does use this in the comics. I don't know how better they could have executed this to not make it look so much like a sperm, but it's fine. I kind of like this accessory because, like I said, he uses it in the comics. Also, we have the gripping hands, so he can grip the webbing. Like while he's swinging or whatever. He also gets his two thwippers here, his two thwipping hands. And these hands look great. Once again, they're different. So I do appreciate that they, did something different with each hand. That is good. Continuing with the hands, we also have these open wall crawling hands, or expressive hands, or hands, like while he's kneeling down on the floor or whatever like that. So that is also good as well. So, he does come with a variety of hands. These are my favorite hands right here. These are my favorite hands right here. I've always wanted this in a Spider-Man figure. As far as I'm aware, no other company has done this. And this is a very pleasant surprise. And once again, there are two different kind of webbings that's shooting out of his web shooters. And this is great. I think that these two are the best accessories that they gave him. So I absolutely love that. And this accessory is also the best accessory that they included. And that accessory is his Spidey sense. I love this. And this is an accessory he should have had from the beginning, because we all know how important Peter's Spidey sense is. We all know how important it is. So you clip that onto his head, and boom, Spidey sense. I love it. I love that. I absolutely love that. And I love how they executed it. It's executed extremely well. So I love that. Whoops, I'm about to take Spidey out of the frame. So that is another accessory that I love. So let's get into the bad. Oh, well, I also like the web shield. This is not the bad. This is kind of good. I like the sculpting on it, and the paint is pretty good. A lot of people complain about this with the shield, with the cap shield. You know, they're saying, that it breaks over time. It's not good. I haven't had any issues with my cap shield. It's still going strong. I'm still good with it. So I haven't had any issues. So I don't mind this. Actually, I like it. I like that you can clip it onto their wrist. It's just more mainstream and it's just more easier. So maybe I'm in the minority on that. And also, I like this accessory as well. It's not much you can do with it. Both this and the web ball you can clip onto this stand that they gave you, which I'm about to get into that in a minute. But this is a cool accessory as well. I also like this. I know a lot of people hating on it. Now let's get to the stuff I don't care about so much. So this is another unacceptable thing. I don't like these webs. I just don't. The design is nice and it kind of does resemble McFarlane. Trying to get the focus. Okay, yeah. So I mean, it's nice, but they're gummy, they're loose, they're not bendy wire, and that's unacceptable to me. You cannot call this a maximum figure and you don't give bendy wired webbing. There's no excuse for that. So Marvel Legends, you shit the bed on that. You dropped the ball. Another thing that's stupid, and it's also cheap, is this stupid stand here. So you have this cheap ass stand, flimsy, cheap. It's the cheapest plastic you can give someone. I put it in the wrong darn. Oh no, wait a minute. That was correct. It's just that this thing doesn't want to work. Okay, I got it in. Anyway, so freaking cheap. So you use this stand to plug in the web ball and that other action web effect, but it's so stupid and cheap. I don't like it. Another thing I don't like is this head sculpt. Now, this head sculpt could have been great. So I know a lot of people say you can barely see a difference, which is kind of true, but you can see the slight difference. There's a slight, I guess this head is supposed to be for his Spidey sense, but I don't care. It's still stupid. This eye is slightly squinting and this eye is just normal size. That's stupid. You should have just made both of his eyes like this. This one squinting and this one squinting as well. I would have found more use out of that. And I probably would have used this head more because I actually do like his eyes squinting like that. So if they would have did it with both eyes, I would have used it more. So apparently that's pointless. And also, let's get into the biggest topic is this disgusting head sculpt. So I thought maybe I was going to be 50-50 on it, but now looking at it in person, this head is horrendous. This head is nightmare fuel. So it is just, I get what they were trying to go for. And when I looked at McFarlane's Peter Parker, he doesn't look like this. And his eyes are not that light either. So I don't know why they made his eyes this sort of creepy light green. And also what makes it worse is this stupid smirk he has on his face. I think people probably would have found his head acceptable if they took the stupid smirk off and just gave him a neutral, expression. But this weird grinny smiley psycho face, he just looks like a weirdo. And the hair is nice, and it's nice, what they did with the two curls here with the hair. But yeah, that head is just atrocious. So the biggest talk about this Spider-Man figure is his articulation. It is the best articulated Spider-Man, and from all the videos I saw, he is the best articulated. He can do things that no other Spidey figure from Marvel Legends can do. And he also can even rival other companies like SH Figure Arts, Mayfax, so forth. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. I'm not the biggest articulative person, and I cannot get him into the best dynamic poses. I can only do, I could barely do good Spidey poses. But the point is that you can get him in whatever kind of Spidey pose you can think of. Whatever Spidey pose you can think of, you can get him in, and he will look fantastic. You can. He has the drop down hip joints, and he has all the articulative points that you would want from a Spider-Man figure. So any pose you could think of to get him in, you can get him in, and that's great. Is it a premium maximum like they're advertising? They're not reinventing the wheel. No, they just took all from the previous Spider-Man figures. They took what was great, and they just added on more goodness to this figure. That's how I look at it. But anyway, we'll get into the basic stuff. So he can look up. Actually, he can look up farther than that. I don't know why my figure is giving me a hard way, but his neck hinge goes there, and he can look. There we are. I guess my figure is a little tight. Come out of the packaging, so he can look all the way up like that. That's very good. He also has that neck hinge there that they added. His head can also always go around 360. No surprise there. And like I said, that neck hinge, adds a lot, has a lot of movement and pivoting, so forth. His arms, I'm trying to get his arms to go up, I guess, because my figure is coming out of the packaging. It doesn't want to go up. Maybe this side will go up a little further. Okay, this side went up a little further. Okay, so that's good. Good range. He does have the butterfly joints. My butterfly joint has that, so that's a major QC issue. But I guess the good part is, I don't think I'm gonna put my Spider-Man in any crazy pose, so I can hide that. So I could just put it back and hide it. But anyway, that is the ball joint, and his ball joint can go really far back. From what I've seen people do, it can go really far back. I guess mine is kind of tight though. But a silly thing about this is this. This is another dumb thing. So they added extra paint that was not needed to the spider legs. And this one is separated. So that just makes it even more stupid and pointless. And it's not even a curved line like how the legs are curving. It's not curving down in that position like it's supposed to. So that's just dumb. Instead of just leaving the legs like this, just leave it like this. It looks fine. Why are you adding this stupid part? That's just dumb. Anyway, so his joints can go back really far, which a lot of people love, and I love that too. And also, it can also go forward far very well. Like you can get him in crazy swinging poses or so forth. And you can also full 360, upper bicep swivel, of course, all pinless joints, doubly jointed elbows. He has this rotation, like I said, because of those web shooters. Full wrist and hinge rotation. He does have an upper ball peg that pivots left and right. It goes all the way around. It goes all the way back, so he can go back really far. He can crunch forward really far. And he does have a twist in the width, not in the lower, but in the upper ball peg waist, full 360. And like I said, he has that deep crunch there. His legs could split out about that much. Now he should be able to do a full split. This is your maximum series, right? Unacceptable. He can't do a full split. That's just ridiculous. He does have the drop down hips, as you can see. The hips drop down, so you get that crazy range of motion with these drop down hips. It can do a lot with the drop down hips. That's just insane that you could fold him like a pretzel. So that's just goes to show you with the drop down hips right there. Thigh swivel. Let me push this back up. Doubly jointed knees. He does have boot rotation as well. He does have a full rocking joint. He does hinge up and he does hinge down. He does have ankle pivot and he has toe articulation, which I don't care for toe articulation, but I know some people like that with their Spider-Man figure, so you can get him in those more crazy dynamic poses. So, like I said, any pose you could think of that you want to get this Spider-Man in, you can, and you will be thoroughly happy and satisfied with that as well. So we will get further into this review. Yeah, so these are the hands that I'm talking about, and it is a bitch to get these hands on. It is a bitch, like, to twist those things. Like, I don't know if I'm even going to use these hands because I'm just too afraid that the freaking joints inside are going to break by how much force I had to pull to get those, to get the original hands off. And also, here's a better look at the Peter Parker head on this figure. And I just don't like it. I don't like it. So even though I do like these hands with the accessories like that, and I do like it, it's kind of a pain to get them on. So I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if it's worth it. And a lot of people are complaining that the hands are too large. That doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me. But like I said, there's no articulation in the wrist, which people are mad about. I'm not, because like I said, it would break up, the way it looks, and it would just look silly. So you can articulate it like that, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. It's just, I just don't know if I'm going to use these hands going forward in the future. I don't know. I don't know. And so here's that alternate dumb winking head, or whatever you want to call it. Like I said, I think it's dumb. But anyway, these are my favorite accessories. These two webs, these tooth whippers. These are my favorites. So I'm going to try some alternate Peter Parker heads. So here is one, and I'm gonna see how that looks, and then I'm gonna try the other Peter Parker head. And so there's the Peter Parker head. This is an option, but it sits too high on the neck, unfortunately. So, but I have to say, it's miles better than the Pete head that he does come with. And this is the other Peter Parker head that I have, the only other one in my collection. And I want to use this head. I think this is just a far superior Peter Parker, and it's more accurate. I wish I had the Renew Your Vows one, because I saw people use that head and it fits better. So I don't have the Renew Your Vows one. I wish I did, but I don't. So but that is an option if you so choose. Like I said, it's better than the head that he comes with. So there's that as well. Yeah, so obviously I am not the best Spidey poser. Not even close. Not even close. I am not good. I'm not good at posing figures much, especially when it comes to Spider-Man. But, it's very easy to get him into poses with minimal fuss. And, overall, I think it's a good figure. Yes, like I said, I'm not the best Spider-Man poser. But this is cool to get him in a pose like this. I couldn't do this with my other Spider-Man figures that I had. So this is cool. But like I said, any pose you could think of, just check out people on YouTube, check out Instagram or TikTok, whatever. You can get him in some crazy poses, which is really impressive. Really impressive. All right, so here's Pete with his thwippers without the weapon. And like I said before, I do like those accessories. Here's the Spidey shield. That's, some people like it and some people don't. I like it. I'm fine with it. So, and here's what I'm talking about with this stupid, cheap stand. So, you put the spider sperm up here because it has a peck hole at the bottom of it, which is not easy to track because this is clear, plastic. So you really have to look for it. And this as well, same thing. I mean, it's cool. Like you can get some action poses out of it, but I'm not really going to use this. It's just the stand is cheap and flimsy and stupid. And for the very few people out there who probably like this Peter Parker head, you can stick him on a civilian body and it'll work. But the more and more I look at this head, the more and more I freaking hate it. At first, I was kind of 50-50 on it. I was like, oh, it's not bad, but it's not great. But the more and more I look at it, it's just, ugh. So we're already over 30 minutes, guys, and I apologize for that. But this is the part of the video that's going to be long because I've got as many Spider-Man characters out of my collection as I could. So we're kicking it off with Tombstone and Hammerhead, and he scales great with them, so I love that. And continuing on with the Crime Lords, we have the Kingpin, and oh my goodness, these two look fantastic together. Love it, absolutely love it. Here we have Spidey next to Black Cat, and they look amazing together. I love that. And continuing with female characters, we have Spidey and Silver Sable. So I like how they look as well. And continuing with female characters, we have Gwen Stacy. And I think these two look terrific together as well. And last but certainly not least, we have the greatest love of his life. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what the new comic book says. We have Mary Jane Watson, and they look terrific together as well. And we have superheroes, of course. We have Extremis Iron Man, and we have Captain America. God, I love that Captain America so much. It is in my opinion, it's the definitive Captain America. So these three look great together as well. And here we also have the Hulk with Spider-Man, and they look fantastic together. I love that as well. And we have him next to Aunt May and J. Jonah Jameson. That looks great as well. I love that too. And here we have the Sinister Six. So I think he looks good among them. And here Spidey is next to the Lizard. This is my favorite Lizard. He is the definitive Lizard for me. So he looks awesome next to him as well. And here's Matt Gargan, the Scorpion, next to Spidey as well. And they look great together as well. Here we have Martin Lee, Mr. Negative, next to Spidey as well. And that looks great. And here is Spidey with Null. Here he is next to the Shocker. And they look great together as well. And here he is next to the Hobgoblin. And here he is with Rhino. Looks good as well. And here he is with Moreland. Looks great as well. And here he is with the symbiote Poison. And here he is with his buddy Flash Thompson, aka Agent Venom. And here he is with Ben Reilly, Spider-Man. And here he is next to Silk. I said Mary Jane was the last female, but no, my mistake. Well, she was the last civilian female, but yeah, this is the superhero, his Spidey partner, Silk, which I love her, by the way. And of course, here he is with two of my favorite Spider-Man characters and a lot of people. So you have Venom and Carnage, and he looks absolutely great with both of them as well. And here he is next to his Spider Bro, Miles Morales. And last but certainly not least, his greatest enemy, his greatest foe, the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. Yeah, I thought for shits and giggles, why not? My very ancient figure here, Madam Web. And here he is next to the Punisher. I almost forgot. And yes, this time, last but certainly not least, he is next to Daredevil. And these two look absolutely fantastic together. I love this combo right here. Excuse me, guys. I'm so doggone tired. I don't know if I mentioned his double jointed knees in the articulation point. If I did, forgive me, but I've been filming for a while and I'm doing a lot of editing, so I'm just exhausted. So forgive me on that. All right, so I apologize, guys, for this video being way too long. It's almost 40 minutes, but I just tried to, put as much content into this figure as possible because, it's the Maximum series. So it is not worth $50. I said that at the beginning of the video. I think $40 at the most. I think $35 would have probably been the sweet spot, and I think people would have digested it more. But I stand also by the points that I made earlier, about pricing and things like that. But I do apologize if I offended anyone. I'm not telling you what to buy, what you should buy, what you shouldn't buy, and whatever you decide to do with your money is your business. All I say is that, if you don't want the figure, don't get it. And if you do want it, go ahead and get it. Do I think that this figure is worth a pickup? Yes. Do I think it's worth $50? No. But if you are a McFarlane fan and you want this type of Spider-Man figure with all the added articulation, I say go for it. Is this the best Spider-Man on the market? Maybe not. Is it the best Marvel Legends Spider-Man? Yeah, I would say absolutely. So my overall rating, this figure does have problems. I mentioned in the review. I was going to give it an 8. I'll bump it up a little bit to an 8.5. I can't go higher than that because some of the accessories I don't like. And you can get creative. You can use all the accessories if you get creative, but some of the accessories are just not worth it. There's a couple that I really like the most, like the Spidey sense and these two whipping webbing hands that's attached to his wrist. Those are my two favorite. The other accessories, you could take it or leave it. But the overall figure itself, Spider-Man himself, I think is great. I love the way he looks. I know some people wanted sculpted webbing, and that's fine. I like sculpted webbing too. I can go either way with it. But I think they made the right choice by just painting the webs on. I think it looks better. I think it looks more authentic to the comic book. I know a lot of people rate McFarlane as the GOAT in color in drawing Spider-Man. In my opinion, I respectfully disagree. I feel like there is two greatest of all time Spider-Man artists, and that's the creator himself, Ditko, and John Romita Sr. I feel that they are the definitive GOATs of drawing Spider-Man. So that's just my opinion on that. You could take that as you will. But hope you enjoyed this long review, guys. And if you stuck around for the whole review, I do appreciate it. This has been my review of the Maximum series Spider-Man. And this is my definitive Spider-Man in my collection. If you guys want to make him your definitive in your collection, that's up to you. Again, I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. Hope you found it informative. And I apologize for it being so long, but, I tried to fit in as much content into this video as possible because this is going to be my definitive Spider-Man for the foreseeable future. Unless they make a better Spider-Man, we'll see if I jump on it. But this is my review, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, and subscribe. And until the next time, see ya.